You were bound to the villain system as soon as you traveled through time. As long as the protagonist has the chance, he can get rich rewards. But every time you carefully plan the layout. But I am always disturbed by others inexplicably. I originally thought it would be a good outcome if the opportunity was not taken away by the protagonist. Who would have thought that the thief would steal the treasure from you? It turns out that he gets picked up by the protagonist every time. At this moment, the system prompt appears again before your eyes. Option 1. All your contribution points. Exchange for medicinal materials. According to Bai Chao Jing. Try to successfully refine an elixir with the appearance of Danyan. Completion rewards. Wan Miao Dan, Jedi level low-grade mental method. Option 2. Go and watch the refining process of the protagonist Zhou Yuan. Accumulate experience. Completion rewards. Xiantian Jiahuang low-grade defensive magic weapon. Option 3. Stand still and leave the cell. Completion rewards. Random attribute points +1. This time he lost all interest. Today he just want to be honest. Without the slightest hesitation. Just choose 3. You continue walking down the mountain. Task options completed. Reward. Mouth attribute plus mouth attribute. Think of this. You have viewed the personal basic panel information for the first time. Name. Chen Changying. Realm. Practicing Qi to perfection. Qualification. Enter the world. Spiritual root. Elf root. Kung Fu. The mysterious secret of Ba Palace. Like a shadow, the mystery is inferior. Mental method. 49 weeks of mysteries middle grade. The above text messages. For a monk who only practices Qi. It can definitely be called the best among the best. Among them. 2 exercises and 1 mind method. It's all a mystery. You must know that in this very world, everything can basically be divided into heaven, land, Xian, 4 grades of yellow. Generally speaking, mysterious stuff. Only by modifying the temperament of the golden elixir can you have it. What's more, it's a skill. Mental methods are the most direct way to improve personal strength. As for why you can master it, you continue to look down the system information. Property list. Counterfeit first order. Spiritual consciousness. Improve eyesight. Ear. Counterfeit first order. Spiritual consciousness. Improve listening. Mouth. Counterfeit first order. 1/10. Improve tongue flexibility. Nose. Counterfeit first order. Spiritual consciousness. Adapt to strong irritating smells. Muscle skin. Counterfeit first order. Spiritual consciousness. Very low power. This attribute is really interesting. Improve tongue flexibility. You simply tried it. Then he recalled the past again. Feel the frequency of tongue shaking. It does get faster. And just as you are walking, while checking your own attribute chain board, another round of mission options has arrived. Option 1. Rekindle fighting spirit. Fold back to single cell. Take advantage of your privileged status. In exchange for a large amount of medicinal materials, attempt to successfully refine an elixir with the appearance of Shan Yun. Completion rewards. Han Yuan Ding Di and Zhongping Ding. Choose. Item. Unit elixir. You chose to ignore it again. What a joke. No matter how good the mission reward is, you now even present a single article in terms of appearance. Not sure at all. There is also a senior villain debuff blessing. Even less hope. As for option 2, you looked up doubtfully. Then I saw the plain white dress from last night. As the line of sight gradually moves up, 2 curved painted spring shirt. A pair of eyes like autumn water. Thin lips like cherry red. The belly is as white as Ningxi. Hairline gently rolled up. There is a wooden hairpin pinned to it. It's her. My favorite woman in the past. Junior sister Jiang Hongli. Even at this moment, when seeing each other, the heartbeat will also slow down by half a beat. But experience is experience. One of the causes and effects. For you now, it's really not of much use. It seems, Jiang Hongli will probably be the heroine. In short, you decisively choose 3. Everything about the protagonist. Let everything take its course. You just need random attribute points. Lean your body slightly to the right. blocking the only way up the mountain. Chen Changying. Because I was thinking about something just now. Jiang Hongli didn't notice anyone in front of her for the first time. Seeing that these two people are about to collide with each other, he said a little angrily. However, just when he was about to be forced into the other person's arms, the other party actually took the initiative to get out of the way again. This time, instead, he stood there in shock. I don't know what to say for a moment. Other side. Your original plan was just to stop the other party. I never thought about taking advantage of the other party. So after noticing, when an accident is about to happen, you stepped aside neatly. When the other party stands completely still. Standing in front of me again. Task options completed. Reward. Increase mouth attribute by 1. It's actually an oral attribute again. The option task has ended. You naturally get out of the way. Continue walking still and heading down the mountain. During this period, there is no communication between the two people. And when someone suddenly stands in front of you, suddenly get out of the way. Then he stood in front of me again. Then he walked down the mountain without saying a word. Personality is as cold as Jiang Hongli. I can't help but feel confused. He turned around and looked at the departing figure. I always feel like something is weird. The protagonist Zhou Yuan successfully refined the elixir of Shan Yun's quality. This news is like a gust of wind. It spread to the ears of most people in Xinjiang's sect very quickly. Of course there are still some rare exceptions, such as someone. You are now lying leisurely on a hillside, running the mental formula leisurely and leisurely. Practice step by step. About half an hour later, you just stretched yourself. Get up again. Stretched my body bones, said to himself. It is indeed a mysterious method. I only practiced for a while. I feel warm all over my body. This is no one else. It's you who is already open. Of course, give up the villain's counterattack. It doesn't mean that we have to completely eat and wait to die. You just don't care about anything about the protagonist anymore. Anyway, I don't have the ability to fight against it, even if the ending is to be reduced to a passerby. As long as I'm still alive and well, that's fine. After having this awareness, after a few days, you suddenly find yourself opening the door to a new world. On the one hand, you rely on your qualifications to enter the palace. In my practice, I have encountered the bottleneck of the stimulation mirror. On the other hand, a lot of attribute points have been added during this time. It can be said that it is full of gains. I am recalling the experience of this time. New system information pops up in your mind. And task options. Protagonist Zhou Yuan. Because he is far beyond the spiritual power and energy of his peers. Take 6 booster pills. Achieved assisting mirror. Comparison from the initial state. Practice your own qi to achieve perfection. The protagonist only has the 8th level of qi lianqi. Now he is easily overtaken by the opponent. In the past, you may feel aggrieved. But now, you really don't take this matter to heart. Instead, it is converted to another angle. Look at the problem. Just a few days, I have already hit the bottleneck of the stimulation mirror. Put it among other disciples in the same mirror. Definitely a proud existence. What's not satisfying about this? Continue reading this message. Compared to the current situation of the protagonist, you care more about yourself now. Option 1. Achieve breakthrough. In exchange for a large amount of medicinal materials, refining any elixir of single cloud quality. Completion rewards. Qianquan Dandegrade middle grade elixir. Option 2. Taking advantage of this alchemy trend. Organize an alchemy exchange meeting. Effectively expand your network. Completion rewards. Fire array, royal level high grade array. Option 3. Continue to be followed and observed by Jiang Hongli. Stay where you are. Completion rewards. Random attribute points +1. After reading option 1, I have to say that the system is really persistent. You even have a single item of elixir. Not sure how to refine it. He always tempts himself with good things. As for the second option, let's not talk about the image of myself among the disciples in the past. Organize an alchemy exchange meeting. I can't help but mention Zhou Yuan, the most popular protagonist of recent times. You don't want to have some weird conflicts then. So I have to choose 3. Stay where you are. If you want to practice, practice. If you are tired, take a rest. So far, You lay down again. Options task completed. Reward. Muscles, bones and skin plus a slight tingling sensation. All over the body. But soon, the tingling sensation disappeared without a trace. Comes with it. It's a slowly increasing sense of strength. Of course, you didn't ignore junior sister Jiang mentioned in the system either. In fact, since 3 days ago, you already know that the other person will secretly observe you from time to time. This time, he must have arrived not long ago. Because even though I don't know the reason yet, but every time the other party starts to follow me, it will be easy to trigger the system option task. Then you can quickly accumulate attribute points. So it's only been 5 minutes. When new task options. When I appear in front of you next. Actively ask the other party why they are following you. Completion rewards. Qingyang Cursed Emperor level middle grade Fulu. Option 3. Stay where you are. Pretend not to know. Completion rewards. Random attribute points +1. Show yourself. Make the other person feel good. Junior sister Jiang doesn't have any nymphomaniac attributes. What's more, he is not the protagonist. There's no way to fool around with music for a while. The opposite sex will fall in love with you wholeheartedly. So, it's better not to be delusional. If option 2, if you take the initiative to find the person, how are you going to steal people's wool in the future? Must choose 3. Pretend I'm alone here. You start to run the mental method again. Continue to practice unhurriedly. Options task completed. Bonus and attribute increase by 1. A breeze blows, mixed with a hint of grass fragrance. Circulate the spiritual power in the body for a week, almost 10 minutes. Just at this time, mission options in the center of my mind begin to emerge. Option 1. Karma insists on leaving the place. Get rid of Jiang Hongli. Completion rewards. Golden Light Curse Emperor lower grade talisman. Option 2. Stay where you are. Pretend not to know. Completion rewards. Random attribute points +1. There are only 2 options this time. But for you, not much difference. Of course you continue to choose the second one. Get attribute points safely. Task options completed. Reward. Increase the mouth attribute by 1. At this moment, the mouth attribute is already 9 out of 10. Still a little short of. It can break through the return of goods by a certain margin. I don't know when the time will come. What new abilities will be unlocked? A trace of expectation begins to arise in your heart. More than 10 minutes later, the system task option of Sandu is not enabled. Sure enough, I didn't disappoint you. Option 1. Try to break through the assist mirror in person. Successfully achieve the assist mirror. Or lose. Defeat. Concentrated product retail list. Option 3. Stay where you are. Completion rewards. Random attribute points +1. Choose 3. Choose 3. I just finished reading the system information. You can directly draw conclusions. Task options completed. Reward. Add 1 to the object attribute. This time it's actually the object attribute. This is the first time to get it in so many days. Looking far into the distance. My eyesight does seem to have improved. But at this time, it's still an advancement of mouth attributes. More exciting. At this critical moment, you might as well sit up straight. While running the mental formula, continue to practice. While waiting, next mission option arrives. Senior Brother Chen, why are you here alone? Can't wait for the next round of mission options. Suddenly there is a ringing in your ears. A somewhat familiar greeting. Turn your head. Look in the direction of the sound. A group of people wearing tight satin robes. People who are dressed the same as you. Coming this way. Chui Lihu, Elder Wu's nephew. Chu Shaoxing, the nephew of Master Chu of Qingyang Sect Qi Lian Pavilion. Zhao Huai. Memories about these people flash through my mind one after another. You react immediately. These people are all second-generation people like me. No trace. We thought something good happened to you. Have you forgotten your junior brothers? After all, Ji Lihu changed the topic again. Continue. Right. Senior Brother Chen. Recently we discovered something interesting. I came here specifically today to take you to try it first. Fun stuff. Looking at the excitement on the faces of the people in front of me, you wondered for a moment. At the same time, new mission options appear in front of you. Option 1. Persuading Ji Lihu and others. Start practicing hard from now on. And give up all hobbies. Complete. Award. Encourage. They are different from themselves. Qualifications are not very good. Maybe a lifetime. I can't make a name for myself in the spiritual world either. So, it's true, there's no need to rob others. Force the other person to give up worldly hobbies. After all, even you, when you know you can't fight the protagonist, also chose to open the board. You nodded. There was an expression of uncertainty on his face. Open your mouth and say, "Let's go. I just wanted to see what you guys are doing." Task options completed. Reward. Muscle skin +1. Hear a positive answer. Chui Lihu's fruity face put on a bright smile. Talking. Senior Brother Chen still has the nerve to tell us, "You haven't seen a single person in the past few days." The body has turned around. Take the lead and walk in the front. Walking towards the outside of the sect. Hillside flatland southwest direction. Beside a mausoleum not far away. Jiang Hongli looked at the retreating figure. I'm still a little confused. At noon that day, you stand in front of me. Then he stepped aside without saying a word. This series of strange behaviors. It always makes her feel wrong. Just feel. You seem like a different person. If only this. She didn't even have the heart to pay attention. It happened to be the night before. He accidentally knocked someone unconscious. So, he's thinking about the other person's sudden change in temperament. There are even some abnormal reasons. Will it have something to do with myself? Even if it was Senior Brother Chen who had the disgusting idea at that time. Move your hands and feet on him. But if the other party really becomes stupid because of this, I still feel sorry for myself. And after so many days of secret observation, Jiang Hongli feels you more and more. It doesn't seem normal from time to time. For example, in the past, I would run out every day to have fun, or use your power to bully others within the sect. The result is now, always find a secluded place to be alone. If this continues, I'm afraid he has to think of a way. Find a doctor to come and take a look. Fortunately, when those second-generation immortals appeared, after some conversation, you leave with the other person. It looks like he went out to have fun. That is to say, my worries should be unnecessary. But this is not necessarily the case. Seeing someone's back, about to disappear from sight. Until now, he still wasn't sure whether the other party was okay or not. A trace of hesitation flashed through my inner demons, but in the end he stamped his foot. Continued to follow. It's about less than half an hour's journey. Jiang Hongli always kept a distance not too close or too far from the front. However, after entering the secular town closest to Qingyang sect, after Luchen, you and the others finally stopped in front of a pavilion. Stopped in perfect sync. Jiang Hongli opened the green gauze in front of the bamboo hat. I looked at the signboard of that pavilion. Drunken Flower Sword. In addition to this, she also happened to see several women in very cool clothes walking out of it. Brought people in. When this scene comes into view, Jiang Hongli's cheeks felt slightly hot. The white neck is flushed red. Immediately afterwards, she didn't stay where she was for a moment longer, but turned around. Don't leave soon. Almost at the same time. You have just been brought into this newly opened room of drunken flowers. 3 mission options appear in your mind. Option 1. Keep a low profile. Just in the corner of the hall. Listen quietly and watch the show. Completion rewards. The fire spirit eagle will soon become a top-grade spiritual pet. Option 2. Leave this place decisively. And explain to Jiang Hongli who was following him. Completion rewards. Green Spirit Lock is a low-grade defensive magic weapon. Option 3. Follow the arrangements. Enter the private room and start having fun. Completion rewards. Random attribute points +1. After browsing all the task option information, only then did you realize Jiang Hongli actually followed all the way here just now. It seems. I still saw myself entering this pavilion. Just turned around and left. So, what on earth was she thinking? Did not continue to delve deeper. About junior sister Jiang. As for related task options, since everyone has agreed to come out to play, naturally it is better to follow the arrangements. You choose 3. No more words to interrupt. Under the enthusiastic arrangement of Ji Lihu, a group of you are following a graceful and beautiful woman up to the 2nd floor. Enter into an independent private room. Task options completed. The pace of the relay kettle and others invariably slowed down. There was a trace of confusion in the eyes. As for you, you are also somewhat enlightened yourself, but then, new mission options appeared in your mind. Make you wake up again in the next second. Option 1. Step forward to expose the pianist woman's trick of using the magic eagle to replace her. Completion rewards. Pure heart mantra. Option 2. Wake up the fellow disciples around you. Prevent it from sinking. Completion rewards. The mystery of 100 pieces of top-quality spiritual stones begins. Option 3. Remain silent. Listen to the end of the song. But it is necessary to remind yourself of the few friends you have. So you choose 2. It seems that I still saw myself after entering this pavilion. Just turned around and left. So what on earth was he thinking? Did not continue to delve into the matter about junior sister Jiang. As for related task options, now that everything has been promised, it's over. Naturally, it is better to follow the arrangements. You choose 3. No more words to interrupt. Under the enthusiastic arrangement of Ji Lihu, a group of you are following a graceful and beautiful woman up to the 2nd floor. Enter into an independent private room. Task options completed. The reward is 1 more bonus than the attribute. Like the sound of a clear spring, it rang from the moment everyone stepped into the door. Full tone, as if turning into gentle fingers, hooked on everyone's heart. For a while, the pace of Cui Lihu and others involuntarily slowed down. There was a trace of confusion in the eyes. As for you, you are also somewhat enlightened yourself. But then, new mission options appeared in your mind. Make you wake up again in the next second. Option 1. Step forward to expose the pianist woman's trick of using magic sound substitution. Completion rewards. Pure heart mantra. Option 2. Wake up the fellow disciples around you. Prevent it from sinking. Completion rewards. 100 pieces of the best snacks will be written immediately. Option 3. Remain silent. Listen to the end of the song. Completion rewards. Random attribute points +1. Without figuring out the real reason, it's better not to choose one rashly. As for option 2, actually rewarded with snacks. Although according to your identity, you usually don't lack snacks when you practice cultivation. But remind yourself of the few friends you have. But it is necessary. So you choose 2. At this moment, when the voice of love is high, you pretended not to be able to help but clapped your hands. Interrupted loudly. It is indeed a place recommended by several junior brothers. But this love song is already worth it. Under this slightly abrupt admiration, beautiful woman sitting behind the screen placed the screen on the strings, stopped playing. The confusion in the eyes of Cui Lihu and others also began to gradually dissipate, being pulled back to reality. Task options completed. Reward. 100 pieces of the best snacks will be sold soon. Now put it in that section. They nodded immediately. Zhao Huai echoed with endless aftertaste. Yes, although this is not the first time I heard this love song, but every time I feel as comfortable as my head and heart. Then, he said dissatisfiedly to the hazy woman behind the screen. Why did this playing stop? My senior brother Chen finally came over here. How dare you be so perfunctory? Through soft gauze. That beautiful figure owes Jian's body to express her apology. The sound of love in the heart continues to float into everyone's ears. See this. It's not good for you to say yes. You wanted to find an excuse to take people away from here directly. But the music that followed, but the hallucinogenic magic just now is gone. Just pleasant to the ear. She circles center body. Could it be that I am too nervous? Just now it was just. This is the most beautiful method. Didn't make a judgment immediately. You wait a moment first. Check to see if any new task options appear. I saw that there was no movement in the system. Now I feel a little more relaxed. Other side. As the organizer of this event, Chui Lihu, Tiger strides forward vigorously. Pull out the main chair, then ascended. Senior Brother Chen, this is your first time here. Fun and beautiful things. Still behind. Come and sit down first. No rejection. After all, you and I used to go out to have fun together. I also sit in the main seat. For the time being, I no longer pay attention to the charming piano sound just now. You replied with a smile. Then Senior Brother, you're welcome. Let's enjoy the hospitality of our junior brother today. After all, several people in the urging pot fell to the left in turn. Outside the door, 6 maids began to steam the dishes. Jiang on the boat. Now the wine is finally steamed. She couldn't help but lift the wine glass anymore. Open your mouth and introduce to you. This thing is a superb wine brewed from fairy fruit. Brother, try it quickly. Just finished. She couldn't wait to take a sip first. I did not live up to this good intention. You pick up the wine glass. At that moment you did smell a strong aroma of wine, and when the drink enters the throat, the first feeling is soft and delicate. Immediately afterwards, a fire shot straight into the chest. Call. This is just one glass of wine. I felt so comfortable all over my body that I started sweating. Seeing Senior Brother Chen's reaction, Chui Lihu poured another glass of wine. While boasting, how is it? Just this sound. This drink. Isn't it a rare and good place? Come. Dishes at the venue. It's also a rare delicacy. There will be a dance performance later. As the second generation, fun in the ordinary world. I have also enjoyed many, but experiences like drunken flower sword. But it's the first time. Between cups and cups, several weapons walked into the private room, accompanied by the sound of the piano that removes the unity. Danced a dance of infinite wind and lightness. This feeling, a clang, just when your heartstrings are almost completely relaxed. Suddenly there was a violent fight downstairs. At the same time, 3 mission options appear in your mind. Option 1. Go out to assist Lu Yuan. Let's go, Mo Sanqing. Completion rewards. Introducing the mysteries of Zhongbu, the top-grade rebels. Shu Lu Yuan modified the 7th stage of Jindan. Mo Sanqing is a golden elixir 7 monks. And it was Mo Sanqing who injured the host in the first place. Option 2. Waiting for the protagonist Zhou Yuan to show up. Work together with the opponent to subdue Mo Sanqing. Completion rewards. The magic weapon for hard lock rotation and thrusting. Option 3. Go out and have a look. Completion rewards. Random attribute points +1. People who heard me saw this message. You felt a little confused at first, but soon you will realize that this should refer to fighting for a treasure bowl. The intruder who sneaked into Changying sect. I had worked so hard in the beginning. In the end, nothing was caught. He even received a slap from the opponent. After all, that guy Mo Sanqing should still recognize him. Even if the opponent seems to be at a disadvantage now. No time to take care of anything else. But it's better to be careful. Task options completed. Reward. Although the muscle, bone and skin bonus is due to the mission system option, you were the first one to suggest coming out to watch the fun. But actually, when Chui Lihu and others watch the battle with great interest, instead you focus on other things. Through all the experiences just now, the most beautiful sword seems to be open to the secular public. In fact, most of the people we entertained were monks from the spiritual world. The love teacher in the private room. Even through love sounds. The foundation shown so far. It should not be impossible to prevent the development of the situation. One by one, they flash through your mind. Before you can continue to think deeply about it. In the hall, Mo Sanqing kept parrying and retreating, Suddenly bend with fingers. Make a sound to find the status. Grabbing from the crowd of onlookers. Bang sound. I don't know if this is a coincidence or not. The selected target happens to be the protagonist Zhou Yuan. I don't know when the other party also came to the world of drunken flowers. Facing this move, Zhou Yuan moves his feet vigorously throughout his body. Block it with a quick grab. Although Mo Sanqing failed to succeed in the end. The protagonist Zhou Yuan was also forced to get involved in this fight. Affected by this sudden change, you temporarily put aside the many doubts in your mind. Glancing downstairs, 3 pieces of mission option information appear in front of you immediately. Option 1. Carefully observe Mo Sanqing's flaws, and we'll find out the flaws. Tell Jin Dan Qi Xiu Lu Yuelin loudly. Completion rewards. A low-level magic weapon that can be used to sign notes. Option 2. One of the causes and effects. Temporarily join forces with the protagonist Zhou Yuan. Subdue Mo Sanqing. Completion rewards. Netherworld grassland low-grade herbal medicine. Option 3. Continue to stand where you are and watch. Completion rewards. Random attribute points +1. The battle between Jin Danqi. How do you have the ability to see what expansion? And even the protagonist Zhou Yuan. Protect the body with restorative energy. I got hit several times. There is already blood at the touch of my mouth. You don't imagine that the protagonist will die because of this. But you yourself, no matter what, I definitely won't take the initiative to get beaten. Still standing quietly upstairs. Just get some attributes. Task options completed. Reward. Increase the mouth attribute by 1. So far, the oral attribute you have been waiting for a long time, finally broke through the first level of counterfeit products. You don't even have to continue to observe the nature of the downstairs. Hurry up and open your own attribute reading information. Property list. Counterfeit first order. 111. Improve eyesight. Ear. Counterfeit first order. 411. Improve listening. Mouth. Counterproduct second level. 0210. Can imitate different sounds. Nose. Counterfeit first order. 811. Adapt to strong irritating smells. Muscle skin. Counterfeit first order. 711. Power steel soul. Imitate sounds. Although it is not something that can directly improve actual combat capabilities, but it feels quite interesting. Among you people, Zhou Xiaoxing's voice is the most recognizable. You briefly recalled. Then he tried to speak. Chui Lihu. Why did you call me suddenly? Withdraw your interested gaze. Chui Lihu looked at Zhou Xiaoxing with a blank look on his face and asked. In this regard, Zhou Xiaoxing was also concentrating on watching the fun just now. So he is also somewhat blind? Asked uncertainly. Did I just say something? Other side. You've seen the initial results of your voice imitation ability. I didn't continue to make fun of it. Going to turn around. Return to rest. After all, you made up your mind a long time ago. Anything about the main character. Just let nature take its own course. But at this moment, 3 mission options appear in your mind. Option 1. Carefully observe Mo Sanqing's flaws. He also loudly informed Lu Yueling, the 7th monk of Jindan, about the flaws he found. Completion rewards. Low-grade magic weapons accumulated all over the place. Option 2. One of the causes and effects. Temporarily join forces with the protagonist Zhou Yuan. Subdue Mo Sanqing. Completion rewards. Netherworld grassland low-grade herbal medicine. Option 3. Continue to stand where you are and watch. Completion rewards. Random attribute points +1. This is similar to what has appeared before. It can be said that they are exactly the same. Although I don't understand a little what's wrong with this system. But for the attribute points, you still stop taking steps. Stayed at the same place one more time. Task options completed. Reward. Add 1 to the extension property. Okay. I got some attribute points for free. This time you have no reason to stay where you are. Still planning to go back to the private room to rest. Result. Exactly the same system option information. Shuangrejua comes a little more recurring in your mind. The exact same 3 options. And then, your system information will always be displayed. Task options completed. Bonus port attribute +1. Task options completed. Bonus muscle skin +1. Task options completed. Bonus muscle skin +1. This series continues. You have 2 more attributes. Successfully broke through the counterfeit product. Muscle skin. Counter product 2nd level. 0-20. Moving like a dragon. At the same time, you clearly feel the bones throughout the body are slightly aggravated. Rattling sound. Although there is some swelling and pain in a short period of time, but not long after. When the swelling and pain disappear, you can feel your physical fitness. There has been a stage leap. This is too easy. He clenched his fists vigorously. Until now. You still can't believe it. And just when you are recalling this wonderful power, suddenly someone pulled my arm. Go quickly, 3rd Elder. Single frame Deputy Master. They are all down there now. If it's later, it's too late. The person who spoke to remind you is Zhao Hui. I don't know when it started. This fight is over. And Mo Sanqing, the 7th Golden Elixir Monk, died here. The protagonist Zhou Yuan is unconscious. He is being treated with all his strength by the 3rd Elder and the Deputy Pavilion Master. As for Cui Lihu and Chu Xiaoxing, the 2 of them are now back in the corner. Winked. Then they quickly split up and slipped out of the back door. Just at this time, the latest situation of the protagonist appears in your mind. Basic information about the protagonist Zhou Yuan. 5 spiritual roots. Talisman body protection. Due to taking wisteria flower. After going down the mountain, he was followed by a Mo Sanqing, forced to hide and drunk flower sword. Got into desperate situations several times during fights. The realm has been stabilized in the early stage of stationing in the base. A low-level scoundrel who just took the Huitian pill of the Deputy Pavilion Master of Qingyang Sect Dange. No serious problem. The spiritual power contained in the body. You can break through at any time to assist in the midterm, and thus obtain the 3rd Elder. Lu Yueling's appreciation for this information. You didn't pay special attention to it. Protagonist. Put yourself to death and survive. Then it's natural to reap the rewards. This situation is normal. But you suddenly remembered. The previous system repeatedly started with high frequency. Could it be? It's because the protagonist's level suddenly improved too quickly. In order to prevent himself, the destined villain, from not living up to his name, that situation just happened. Between each other. The premise is that there is an obvious gap in strength. Zhou Yuan worked hard, while getting a big opportunity at a certain moment, because of his status as a villain. Even if the will is clear, you can also get opportunities, both big and small. We are carefully analyzing the relevant reasons. Suddenly there is a faint fragrance on the tip of your nose. You who came to your senses. I raised my head and saw a maid. Everyone is coming this way. With a slight smile on her pretty face. The visitor owes me a favor. Lower your head slightly. Open your mouth and invite. Mr. Chen, our boss wants to see you. Before you could ask further questions, 3 mission options come to mind. Choose. Item. Completion rewards. Click to comment below on the selection of real array diagrams. Option 3. Accept invitation. Leave with the other person. Completion rewards. Random attribute points +1. The 7-day sect is a demonic sect. The man behind this most fancy item. He is actually a member of the demon cult. No wonder there was a fight just now. The stewards will stand by and watch. The thoughts in my mind are speeding up. Option 1. Asking to restrain the maid in front of him. And take people downstairs. Explain the actual situation. Let's not talk about it for now. How will you explain where you got the secret information? Relying solely on one's own perfect state of chi training and strength. You really may not be a match for this seemingly weak maid in front of you. What's more, judging from my interaction with the system during this period of time, even if you still haven't quite figured it out, but rewards of a level like the middle grade foundation. In the past, it only appeared during the mission that requires me to refine Shan Yan Pingxiang elixir. So, you have reason to believe. This thing is a big pit. As for option 3, accept the invitation and follow the other person away. Although I have indeed become enlightened. Just attribute points will suffice. But you are not a fool. knowing that the other party is a demon saint. And he went straight into the tiger's den. Isn't this a long life? So you choose to. I am not free now. Get out of the way. An impatient look on his face. Scolded in a deliberately lowered voice. Since the other party comes to the door proactively, there must be something up his sleeve. Maybe it's already been investigated. My past behavior style. So, just say no, plain and simple. Sure enough, after hearing this rejection, the maid looked a little scared. Make way for the road again and again. Call. Seeing that the other party did not continue to persist. Your tight heartstrings. Relax slowly. In a short time, you who successfully escaped, back to the most desolate street in life. When you look back and see the drunken flower sword getting farther and farther behind you. Third Elder. Single-frame Deputy Master. The protagonist Zhou Yuan and others also came out of it one after another. So far. This half-twirled heart. Only then did it finally fall back into my stomach. If there is no system prompt, you really don't know. There are so many hidden dangers in this. Wait, speaking of systems, you suddenly discovered. Why haven't the rewards for the mission options I just received arrived yet? This can't be a card, right? A trace of suspicion flashed in his eyes. Right next to your ear, feeling itchy. It seems like someone is close to you. Breathe on your cheek. Are you looking for me? This was you before you fell into coma. Last words heard. And then, your eyes are dark. Fell asleep silently. When you wake up from your dream, found myself lying in a strange room. I am not far from the bed, beside the round table. A woman holds her head with one hand and is in a daze. Originally, you just glanced, but the next second, you ignore the situation in front of you. I couldn't help but watch it more carefully. Pink and white face. Beautiful eyes. Autumn water fills the air. Slightly itchy eyebrow tip, paired with a pair of slender jade earrings. Unconsciously, you've already sunk into it, but just at this moment, system task options appear in front of you. Give you another intense. Wake up. Option 1. Pretend to continue to sink. Completion rewards. 100 days of experience. Mysterious mid-level click. Option 2. Get out of bed secretly. Find a way to slip away. Completion rewards. A rare secret, a low-grade magic weapon. Option 3. Take the initiative to ask the other person's identity. Completion rewards. Random attribute points +1. Subconsciously, you are ready to choose one. Keep pretending to sink. Based on option information, you've basically guessed it. I must have fallen under the illusion again unintentionally. To hide and catch. Also to save life. It's better to pretend that you don't know anything. However, before you can make up your mind, suddenly came to mind my experience with the last mission option. At this moment, in your opinion, this woman or someone secretly observing. It is very possible that he has already seen through and escaped from the illusion. Once he chooses to pretend and continue to sink, I'm afraid it will only arouse the other party's vigilance even more. You are the most beautiful person. After you clear the veins, you didn't hesitate anymore. Just choose 3. Task options completed. Reward. Strict attribute +1. Hear this question. The woman seemed to have just come to her senses. Head tilted. Eyes as clear and bright as clear springs. Naturally. Yes. I am the owner of the most foil sword. I originally asked someone to invite you over, who knew you were unwilling, so I had to use other methods. The other party actually admitted it so simply. You were distracted for a moment, and during the period when you were in a daze, the other party stood up, still walking towards the bed. A hint of wariness subconsciously appeared on his face. You have come to your senses again. Unexpectedly, the other party suddenly made a move, but soon, you think back on your current situation. He quickly restrained his vigilance again. It's just a change in expression before and after. Everything has been seen by women. She immediately stood still, asked with a hint of curiosity. You are afraid of me? A bit. I can't hide the things in front of me. What's more now? You have to nod, added. Just entered drunken flower sword. Elegant. Room. You basically put together all the doubtful points you can find. Other side. The woman listened to various analyses with great interest. Ming Ming smiled and said, "It seems that our ideas are actually similar." Ha! You don't understand a bit. The brain circuit of this demonic saint. But soon, the pair broke the jade paper conveniently. Count in detail. Look! The so-called second-generation royal treasury of the Changying sect. In fact, the thinking logic is so clear. Apparently on the surface. Just practice qi and achieve perfection. Be able to break free from the illusion immediately. Even cautious. Completely ignored my invitation as the master of the foil sword. Hear this. You hit a bad sound. The next 2 points. They were all mission choices you made at that time. Option 2. Wake up the fellow disciples around you. Prevent it from sinking. Completion rewards. 100 pieces of the best snacks will be released soon. Option 2. Find an excuse to leave the place. Get rid of the other party's entanglement. Completion rewards. The empirical picture will be downloaded immediately. Click. You also analyzed it very carefully. Result. Who could have expected that there would be such a follow-up? If it had been, he did not show a scene in which he immediately transformed into a normal person and escaped from the illusion. There should be no active invitations later. And if the other party invites you, no choice to refuse. Probably won't be knocked unconscious. Brought here. These things can be said to be nodes one by one, because those choices are strung together. It's completely confirmed. In the mission system options, the most common attribute point reward is the simplest and most direct way to deal with it. Seeing the man in front of me fell into silence again. Zuo Xiaoyan raised his eyebrows slightly, as if with a faint smile. He then took out several aid sheets with spiritual charm from the inner world. Di Dao said to him, "Then you must be angry, right? If yes, these click-throughs. Just think of it as my apology." What an unexpected change of topic. You couldn't react for a while. 1 second before, the other party is still analyzing the secrets in himself. Next second, it actually turned into thinking that I was angry. Start to apologize. Will the Holy Maiden of the Demon Sect still worry about people getting angry? With a mind full of questions, 3 task options popped up. Option 1. Do not accept or reject. Completion rewards. The last selling mysterious medium-grade magic weapon. Option 2. Expressing hope that everyone will get straight to the point. Ask the person what they want to do. Completion rewards. Option 3. Reach out and take the mnemonic sheet. Completion rewards. Random attribute points +1. If you purely rely on your own judgment. Option 1. Silence. And Option 2. Hope to be honest with each other. Whichever one looks more suitable. After all, the other party apologized out of nowhere. I also took out a box of mnemonics. This really doesn't show any normal logic, but according to the inference just now, Option 1 and Option 2, it will definitely trigger a new round of developments. Option 3. It's the simplest way to deal with it. Originally you wanted to be quiet. Think again. But you suddenly find, I'm afraid I can't waste too much time. Otherwise, this may be recognized by the system as referring to Option 1. Do not accept or reject. Choose 3. Set your heart aside. You raised your heart and stretched out your hand. Then, that box of clicks. It's really in the palm of your hand. Task options completed. Reward. Muscle skin +1. See this. The corners of Zuo Xiaoyan's mouth turned up slightly, and then continued. You should have almost reached the assist mirror, right? Do you want to try to break through? I can help you protect the law. This is free. Come again. You can't let this devil saint. Especially here to give benefits to myself. She's not the protagonist. Wait. Could it be that villains and saints? Just a perfect match. But such a beautiful woman. Even if you are a member of the demonic cult, it's rare to take the initiative to show off to a villain like this, right? Just when the thoughts are in your mind. When being thrown into a mess. Task options appear again. Option 1. Sit down and start trying to break through the stimulation mirror. Completion rewards. Jiu Xing Lian Chao Earth level low-level experience. Option 2. Ask the person directly. When can I leave? Completion rewards. The 3-speed meridian immediately centered mind technique. Option 3. Take out 100 pieces of the best snacks from the inner world and hand them to the other party. Tell him that he bought it himself. Completion rewards. Random attribute points +1. What the hell is this? Choose to sit down and break through the accumulation mirror. It's actually a reward for being downgraded at the prefecture level. How dare you choose this? Obviously, I just received the deposit slip from the other party. You are becoming more and more confused about this demonic saint. What are you thinking about? But fortunately you know what to do. Spiritual energy circulating around the body. Take out the 100 pieces of top-notch snacks you got earlier from the inner world. You said randomly. Thank you very much for the deposit slip just now. Snacks here. It should be enough to offset the value of the mnemonic slip. Red lips slightly open. Zuo Xiaoyan didn't seem to expect it either. At this moment, someone suddenly decided to pay for the mnemonic slip just now. But soon, she's back to normal again. While taking the snacks, while counting them in person, I was curious. This seems like too much. The words just fell to the ground. Task options will appear in your mind. Option 1. It doesn't matter. All are willing to be given to her. Completion rewards. Broken heart fist immediately lower grade kung fu. Option 2. Let the other party use the excess. Return to yourself. Completion rewards. When you want to redeem yourself with these snacks. Zuo Xiaoyan's eyes lit up. Agreed with this suggestion. Now, she was the only one left in the room. Right now I am playing with the top-notch snacks I got. While muttering to himself, arithmetic, etc. A great snack. Equivalent to 100 yuan of high-quality snacks. A top-notch snack. Equivalent to 10 pieces of middle-grade snacks. A mid-quality snack. Equivalent to 10 yuan of low-grade snacks. A single helping base costs 50,000 low-grade snacks. I gave her 4 in total. That is to say, her current life is worth 80 yuan of the best snacks. 800,000 low-grade snacks. The life modified by Jing Danqi. It's just this number, right? She put the snacks back into that room. He also got up and left the room. Not long after, another maid came in from outside. It seems, this is her room. And when she saw some clutter, when someone else has been lying on the quilt, not only did he not show any anger, on the contrary, because I know that the other party looks like that Changying sect, the extremely handsome second-generation fairy, he even stepped forward involuntarily. Pick up the pillow. Rub it on the face. Dang dang dang. Just at this time, a knock on the door suddenly sounded. Zuo Xiaoyan doesn't know why. Returned to the door of the room again. Everything remains intact. Then he left with light steps. Come out of the tiger's den. You still can't believe it along the way. After a strange conversation, the other party really let me leave so easily. Although I paid a price of 100 top-quality spiritual stones. Not a small amount. But that one is a saint from the 7 Heaven Sect. But then again, the 7 Heavenly Sect, which is extremely sage and enlightened. What kind of behavior is it? I don't seem to know very well yet. In memory, you only know that this is a person with extremely profound foundation. Others will be as silent as a deep demonic cult. Take your Changying sect. Lift. Over 3,000 miles. But if you put it in front of the 7-day sect. But it was recognized as not enough for someone to shoot with one hand. At first, Yuidu once specifically warned. Let yourself be careful of those who teach in the 7-day sect. Right. Mention this. You suddenly thought of being in your room. Stored no less than 1 book left behind. There seems to be a more detailed introduction to the 7-day sect. When I think of this, you also happen to return to Changying sect Lin Yufeng. In my own wooden house, according to the already somewhat vague memory, you opened it and placed it in the corner. Bookshelf that has been gathering dust for a long time. That book about the 7-day sect. Right in the middle. 7-day sect. There is no need to obey common sense and providence. Follow your heart. Live. It's often hard to figure out the other person's true intentions. So when I met people from the 7-day sect, Never see the other person showing kindness. Relax your vigilance. Sometimes, they can even betray you for no reason. The following is a rough comment from an expert. It should have been annotated by Yui himself. Very elegant myself. Indifferent. In memory. This is the first time you have seen a word written by EZ. After reading these, you finally have a clearer understanding of this demonic sect. You finally understand a little bit. Why are the thoughts of the saint of the seven heaven sect so erratic? Although this person is indeed very beautiful, but it's like a flower growing like this, a rose that bleeds when touched. It's better to hide far away. There must be no possibility that he might be interested in me. He may have the illusion that he has a crush on me. Otherwise, you may not know which day. It became an example in books introducing the 7-day sect. And you are still a villain. More likely to be treated as a special case. 7-day sect. There are 2 saints in the church. The leader is the 7 heavenly saint. The holy words are 7-day little saints. Read the last paragraph of the description carefully. If it were a situation where I didn't understand it at all, you may also complain a few words. Now you will just remember this information. Then take a long breath. Start recalling and summarizing the tortuous experience after going down the mountain. We did encounter a lot of trouble during this period, but there are also many hidden gains. Just like you were vaguely aware of it before. Mission option rewards should be related to the difficulty of the mission itself, but more often, still judging based on the literal meaning of the option information. Now you can almost be sure. The simplest attribute reward represents the simplest and most direct solution at present. As for level rewards such as Tian, Di, Xianhuang, etc., heaven level and earth level for my current self, the probability of achieving it is probably less than 1 in 100,000. Xian level words. You have successfully obtained system rewards more than once. But the follow-up also caused a series of troubles. And these troubles, the person he ultimately points to seems to be the protagonist Zhou Yuan. Even the demonic saint mentioned just now. Let's not talk about Zhou Yuan, who also appeared in Drunken Flower Sword. Suppose you were caught at that time. I was really fooled around. It is inevitable to lead to destruction step by step. According to the usual plot development, I am afraid that the entire Changying sect will also fall into a crisis because of this. Until then, as the protagonist, Zhou Yuan will definitely step forward. Then, he will begin to play his role as the destiny villain. Become a whetstone. Electromechanical stone. Go to what the system mentioned at the beginning. Life and death. The worst ending to be despised by thousands of people. The above. It's just your personal speculation for now. But for safety reasons, unless there is some reason to do it, you will probably choose the lowest level reward in the future. In addition to this, when the gap in strength between yourself and the protagonist is too large, when the protagonist encounters a great opportunity, as a villain myself, will we really gain certain opportunities passively? From now on, you can also continue to pay attention to dong dong dong, breaking through the clouds, ringing in your ears. I patted the person's dizzy head, eyes half closed. Start groping for the clothes beside the bed. Looks like he hasn't woken up at all. After all, I only slept for less than half an hour last night. You also want to go to bed early. But who would have thought that he had just laid down? 3 options suddenly popped into my mind. Option 1. Go out for a walk. Completion rewards. Huangji Bao Earth Level Low Grade Bao Technique. Option 2. Continue to lie down and sleep. Complete. Award. Even though you have many doubts in your heart at this moment. But he just made a summary not long ago. So even if you can't understand, but still according to the original idea, take the chicken casting pill that he bought from the devil's saint, began to break through the realm. Although he has touched the ancient times of making chicken mirrors, but he didn't reach the level of Daedaic City, so it still took a lot of time. And this is why he only rested for half an hour. As the mind gradually regains consciousness, you are neatly dressed and washed. Rush to one of the 12 main peaks of Changying sect. Jinyuan Peak, where the sect's main hall and practice square are located. When you arrive, nearly 1,000 disciples gathered here. Orthogonal heads were discussing in whispers. And according to your past style, you don't have to worry about these people. Just keep moving forward. Ordinary disciples will immediately stop talking. Give way to the road. That's it. You walk slowly to the position 3 rows away from the viewing platform. Just stand still. A few ingratiating inquiries sounded in my ears. Senior Brother Chen, you have more sources of information. Do you know what happened? Turn your head and look at the person who was born. The other party is actually an alien, obviously without any background. I don't have any outstanding spiritual talents either, but I got along well with several first and second generation people. Still often in the elders. Just show your face, so I can stand here. But on weekdays. This one is all following the son of another law enforcement elder. Before that, there was basically no conversation between the two of them. I don't know at this time either. Why would he find me? A few positions apart. You took a look at Wei Changsong first. I found that the other party did not behave strangely. Then he shook his head. He said in a tone that was neither far nor near, I just arrived too. What's going to happen later? The elders will naturally say so. Couldn't get an accurate answer. When Dao Yu did not continue to trap the tiger, he seemed to hear that the tone of his voice was not high quality. So when I saw Chui Lihu and others walking slowly, quickly give up your position. During this period, didn't say another word. Naturally, he stood in the position vacated by Wen Daoyu. Chui Lihu just stepped forward. Then he lowered his voice and said, Brother Chen, do you know? Midnight yesterday, the deputy pavilion master in single grid almost got into a fight with the third elder and the others. When hearing this message, you wonder if you heard it wrong. Both of them are very experienced Mahayana monks in the sect. What could be the problem? Almost got into a fight. At this moment, even though you have many doubts in your heart. But he just made a summary not long ago. So even if you can't understand. But still according to the original idea. Take the chicken casting pill that he bought from the devil's saint. Began to break through the realm. Although, he has touched the shackles of the chicken mirror. But it hasn't reached the stage where the water channel has been established. So it still took a lot of time. And this is why he only rested for half an hour. As the mind gradually regains consciousness, you are neatly dressed and washed. Rush to one of the 12 main peaks of Qingyang sect. Jinyuan Peak, where the sect's main hall and practice square are located. When you arrive, nearly 1,000 disciples gathered here. Orthogonal heads were discussing in whispers. And according to your past style, you don't have to worry about these people. Just keep moving forward. Ordinary disciples will immediately stop talking. Give way to the road. That's it. You walk slowly to the position 3 rows away from the viewing platform. Just stood still. A few ingratiating inquiries sounded in my ears. Senior Brother Chen, you have more sources of information. Do you know what happened? Turn your head and look at the person who was born. The other party is actually an alien, obviously without any background. I don't have any outstanding spiritual talents either, but I got along well with several first and second generation people. Still often in the elders. Just show your face, so I can stand here. But on weekdays. This one is all following the son of another law enforcement elder. Before that, there was basically no conversation between the two of them. I don't know at this time either. Why would he find me? A few positions apart. You took a look at Wei Changsong first. I found that the other party did not behave strangely. Then he shook his head. He said in a tone that was neither far nor near, I just arrived too. What's going to happen later? The elders will naturally say so. Couldn't get an accurate answer. When Dao Yu did not continue to get close to Hu, he seemed to hear that the tone of his voice was not high quality. So when I saw Chui Lihu and others walking slowly, quickly give up your position. During this period, didn't say another word. Naturally, he stood in the position vacated by Wen Daoyu. Chui Lihu just stepped forward. Then he lowered his voice and said, Brother Chen, do you know? Midnight yesterday, the deputy pavilion master in single grid almost got into a fight with the third elder and the others. When hearing this message, you wonder if you heard it wrong. Both of them are extremely experienced monks in the sect. What could be the problem? Almost got into a fight. But soon, Chui Lihu continued to lower his voice and said, Recent period. What is that, Zhou Yuan? I was implicated yesterday. The disciple who finally passed out in the most beautiful sword. He refined a third-grade elixir with a single cloud quality. You should have heard about this, right? After going around and around, it actually came back to the protagonist. Although you are a little helpless about this, but still nodded, didn't sell it. Chui Lihu had a bit of disapproval on his face. Then he said, after that, wasn't he accepted as a registered disciple by the deputy pavilion master? Then he was still in our Qingyang sect. There was a craze for alchemy. Tell me about it. We are a huge sect. If most people go to make alchemy, what to do about the big competition between sects in half a year? Just my uncle, the fifth elder. I mentioned this matter more than once. Yesterday, the third elder happened to meet with the deputy pavilion master Change. The two people must have talked about something. That's why we almost got into a fight. If not for the reminder from the urging tiger. You really didn't remember. There will be a sect competition in 3 months. The top 10 at that time. Then he will participate in the competition between sects. If according to this inference, at least there is the possibility of a dispute between the two parties. Other side. Observation deck in front. Except for the great elder who is in retreat. Several sect elders have already arrived. The third elder mentioned by Ji Li Huka just now. Standing on the stage right now. Sheikh glanced at the thousands of disciples in the practice square. Then, accompanied by spiritual power, every word and every sentence spread to everyone's ears. Duo. Must go out for spiritual practice. There will be deacons who will follow and record the assessment. If you get a top grade 3 times in total, you can go directly to the second floor of Jinshu Pavilion, or the second floor of Lingbao Pavilion. Pick a reward. Was judged to be a penman many times. Then he will be reduced to an outer disciple. At this moment, you are faced with 3 mission options that just popped up. Option 1. Take a step forward. Shows support loudly. Completion rewards. Xiang Qijing Xuanji top grade Kung Fu. Option 2. Stand still. Completion rewards. Fengning looks for secrets, and low-grade magic weapon. Option 3. Don't let anyone notice. Quietly retreat to the corner of the practice square. Completion rewards. Random attribute points +1. Practice square. The 4th row on the left. I was thinking carefully. What kind of team should I join? Jiang Hongli, I accidentally saw you walking back at this time. A trace of doubt flashed across his eyes. His eyes also fell on you subconsciously. Then I saw. You retreated straight to a corner of the practice square. Just stopped again. Why do this? For a while, Jiang Hongli once again thought about the time since Yuan, Brother Chen's various unusual behaviors. He actually wanted to know the reason for this. Does it have anything to do with me? There will also be attempts to track it later. I didn't continue to recall the scene when I saw everyone walking into the most beautiful sword. He recovered slightly. But just in time to meet senior brother Chen's particularly emotional gaze. So, he quickly pretended not to care. He tilted his head again. My attribute points. With a bit of physical pain. You shouted in the bottom of your heart. Just now. You cautiously retreat to a corner. But I still haven't waited for my mission option reward. Option 3. Don't let anyone notice. Quietly retreat to the corner of the practice square. Completion rewards. Random attribute points +1. Preconditions for this option. Don't let anyone notice. You think you haven't ignored it. At that time, many disciples are immersed in the information that the third elder just described. You even used a little bit of physical skills. Used the skin of muscles and bones to achieve the ability to move the weak dragon after the second level of counterproducts. Pass quietly by the people around you. Even the nearest Chui Li who didn't notice it. Who could have expected the result? In the end, it fell into Jiang Hongli's hands. Logically speaking, shouldn't he pay more attention to what the third elder just said? Why are you turning to look at you? And almost at the same time that you end your mental activities. Suddenly, a powerful voice came from the practice square. I don't agree. This time. Directly brought many disciples back to their senses. Surprised who has such courage. Dare to be in front of everyone. Directly disobeying the wishes of the sect elders. Am afraid it's not the wind. Thoughts behind. Many disciples did not venture out again, because they saw Deputy Pavilion Master of Dongye and Elder Xing of Dongye. It is prohibited to walk onto the viewing platform. They immediately realized what I said just now. It came from the mouth of the Deputy Pavilion Master Dongye. He also glanced at the thousands of disciples in the practice square. Deputy Pavilion Master Lu Tianji continued, "Some time ago, there is not enough manpower for a single cell. The elixirs in reserve can only cover daily expenses. If the outer disciples contribute points to accumulate, perform various tasks, the inner disciples went out to practice one after another. This overwhelming amount of elixirs, where should it come from? Moreover, 8 months later, the alchemy conference held every 10 years is about to be held. Single cells also need to be prepared in advance. No time to refine elixirs is needed. After all, the rewards from the alchemy conference are extremely generous. Even the top 5 in the disciple group. You can also get 1 step of the earth-level mid-level cultivation method." Heard the last words. Everyone in the audience exclaimed. The heartbeat can't help but speed up. This is a prefecture-level mid-level mental method. I heard about this level of spiritual cultivation method. It has been able to intuitively improve a person's cultivation qualifications. Frowning slightly, the reactions of the disciples. The third elder saw it. He immediately sent a message to Lu Tianji. "Lu Lao, isn't it a bit too much for you to do this?" Too much. When you raised this matter yesterday, I have already made it clear that I disagree. As a result, you were directly in front of everyone today. Settle things. Have you ever considered the feelings of our single cells? Sect competition? No room for error. That alchemy conference held every 10 years. Also should not be underestimated. This way, the 2 grown-up wives of the sect were arguing over how they modified your words and my words. Other side. The elders on the single-level floor looked towards the practice square. Seems to be searching for something. See this. Your heart tightens. You seem to understand a little bit. Why did the system pop up those options just now? Why the simplest and most direct solution is to retreat silently. This is basically a trap left by the original option to complete the mission. Option 2. Causal value 1 is affected by the lack of manpower in a single cell. Herbs also need someone to pick them. Completion rewards. Bai Chao Jing Xuanji middle grade click. A few days ago, I should have been appreciated by Elder Tsun when I picked the medicine, even though the other party ended up developing a single and uniform elixir because of the protagonist. Leave early. It looks like now, Elder Tsun is looking for the right person. Anyone who can stand up and say a few more words for change at this moment. Then, it is indeed easy for me to become the first choice. On the viewing platform, after Elder Xing shot in a circle, there is a bit of confusion on the face. When collecting medicine that day, he then saw what others saw. Chen Changying, the second generation of Wang Kuxian. In fact, he has a good ability to identify medicinal materials. This is often a manifestation of excellent alchemy talent. In addition to this, the other party seems to be quite interested in alchemy. Otherwise, I wouldn't be willing to do the chores of picking herbs. So I thought, give the other party a chance to perform at this time. Then let him join Dongye as a matter of course. Result. No one is here. Did not continue to delve into the reasons. Xing Yuntian turned to look at another alchemy seedling. Open your mouth and say, Bai Feiqing. Let's talk about it. Just now the third elder and deputy pavilion master Dongye, whose words make more sense. The disciple named Bai Feiqing who was called. My head visibly jerked. Then I felt vaguely. The third elder seemed to have forgotten to take a look at himself. Although Elder Zheng's words are both literal and literal. Give enough guarantee. But this kind of thing. How dare he be the one who stands out? However, now being singled out by Elder Dongye, he can't pretend not to hear. After weighing it over and over again. In the end I had to bite the bullet. Stand up and answer. Disciples think. The third elder and deputy pavilion master Dongye each have their own reasons. Competition between sects. It is a display of their respective strengths. This will determine the future allocation of some public resources. The importance of Daniao to monks is self-evident. Alchemy Conference. It is also a grand exchange event among alchemists. Bai Feiking's explanation continues. Okay. Bai Feiqing, please go down first. For a while, there was a slightly dull silence in the practice square. However, this didn't last long. Words with a bit of emptiness. Then it rang from not far away. Dear elders. The third elder and the single deputy cabinet master each have their own reasons. A big deal between sects. It is a display of their respective strengths. Just came up with the opening remarks. As mentioned by Bai Hongfei before. Almost no difference. You standing far away in a remote corner of the practice square, but anticipated it in advance. The dispute surrounding the sect's big pen and the alchemy conference. It's probably about to end. After all, he is the protagonist. Just when you took a body test, when I was about to lean on the stone pillar next to me. A clear and somewhat familiar voice. Then it floated into your ears. I think you are actually much better than him. It feels like being hit with cold water. You stand up straight immediately. Turn your head quickly. Then I saw the saint of the Seven Heaven Sect. Standing there with a raised voice. Obviously when you come over. I didn't see anyone else. What to say? How did this witch get in? The originally calm mood suddenly became chaotic at the same time. You didn't forget to shift your body a little bit. Try to stand in front of the opponent. Although this is actually just a useless effort. But you still did it subconsciously. Blink, blink eyes. Zuo Xiaoyan saw everything the man did. So curious. You seem to be afraid that I will be discovered by your sect elders. Heard this sentence. You actually want to reply. If you can really get the other party caught. You definitely don't care. But as it is now, if you suddenly howl, said the saint of the Seven Heaven Sect is here. Don't let her go, everyone. 99% probability. In the end, you will only be the one who suffers. I didn't pay attention to what the devil's saint said just now. You just changed the topic. Lower your voice. What are you doing here? He followed suit and lowered his voice. Zuo Xiaoyan responded. Come to see you. I really can't talk about this anymore. You sighed secretly. Just then, 3 options appear in your mind. Option 1. Continue to stay in the same place for 7 days and ask the saint to deal with it. Completion rewards. The Ministry of Wind and Cloud, a prefecture-level low-ranking official, applied for the law. Option 2. Find a way to make the other person leave. Completion rewards. 0 marrow liquid earth grade low grade. Option 3. Take the initiative to explain. Want to take him around. Completion rewards. Random attribute points +1. Rewards for 2 low-level prefecture-level products. See here. Your heart tightens. Follow your step-by-step understanding of task options. You can already guess what kind of trouble this witch is going to cause later. So, smiled sweetly. Okay. Task options completed. Reward. And the attribute +1. That's it. In the corner where no one cares. You left the place with a very unstable factor. Until more than half an hour later. As you expected, matters regarding the sect competition and the alchemy conference were successfully resolved. Chui Lihu et al. I just thought that senior brother Chen ran away early because he was too bored. Among all the disciples, only Jiang Hongli. He saw you quietly retreating to a corner of the practice square. Then I saw the single-level elder. I glanced at your original location several times. Later, Bai Hongfei was called out for questioning. I have some more guesses in my mind. Only later. When she unconsciously looked in that direction again. You are no longer here for some unknown reason. Lin Ying's alley? Zuo Xiaoyan has not made any other excessive demands for the time being. Just stepping on the soft dead leaves step by step. Make a slight rustling sound. Tell the truth. If you hadn't already kept the saints of the Seven Heaven Sect firmly in mind, then from time to time, I would recall the past rumors and deeds of the 7-day sect. That's it. Either of the 2 people spoke first. Just walking side by side. Just this special piece. But with the 2 mission options popping up in your mind, you were broken. Option 1. Continue to maintain the status quo. Completion rewards. The Turing test immediately hit the level. Option 2. Turn around and go to Lin Yefeng. Help Jiang Hongli escape the siege. Completion rewards. Random attribute points +1. What does this mean? Description of options 1 and 2. Of course you can understand. One is to continue walking with the same name Chitian next to me. The other one is saying, Jiang Hongli is in some trouble at this moment. Someone needs to come to the rescue. But when these two things are put together, you cursed all over your head. As a villain, how could he choose him at this time? If the inference has been correct before, turn around and go to Lingye Peak. This is the simplest and most direct way to deal with things at present. You can just leave the witch alone and ignore her. Is it true that nothing big will happen? How to choose this? After some confusion, you can't take too long. In the end it is worth taking the initiative to make judgments. Choose to. For a while, Jiang Hongli once again thought about the time since Yuan, Brother Chen's various unusual behaviors. He actually wanted to know the reason for this. Does it have anything to do with me? There will also be attempts to track it later. I didn't continue to recall the scene when I saw everyone walking into the most beautiful sword. He recovered slightly. But just in time to meet senior brother Chen's particularly emotional gaze. So, he quickly pretended not to care. He tilted his head again. My attribute points. With a bit of physical pain, you shouted in the bottom of your heart. Just now. You cautiously retreat to a corner. But I still haven't waited for my mission option reward. Option 3. Don't let anyone notice. Quietly retreat to the corner of the practice square. Completion rewards. Random attribute points +1. Preconditions for this option. Don't let anyone notice. Of course you didn't ignore it. At that time, many disciples are immersed in the information that the third elder just described. You even used a little bit of physical skills. Use the skin of muscles and bones to achieve the ability to move the weak dragon after the second level of counterproducts. Pass quietly by the people around you. Not even the nearest push tiger noticed it. Who could have expected the result? In the end, it fell into Jiang Hongli's hands. Logically speaking, shouldn't he pay more attention to what the third elder just said? Why are you turning to look at you? And almost at the same time that you end your mental activities. Suddenly, a powerful voice came from the practice square. I don't agree. This moment directly brought many disciples back to their senses. Surprised who has such courage, dare to be in front of everyone, directly disobeying the wishes of the sect elders. I'm afraid it's not the wind. Thoughts behind. Many disciples did not venture out again, because they saw Deputy Pavilion Master of Dan Pavilion and Elder Xing of Dan Pavilion. It is prohibited to walk onto the viewing platform. They immediately realized. The words just now came from the mouth of the Deputy Master of Dan Pavilion. He also glanced at the thousands of disciples in the practice square. The disciples of that sect went out to practice one after another. This overwhelming amount of elixirs. Where should it come from? Moreover, 8 months later, the alchemy conference held every 10 years is about to be held. Dongye also needs to prepare early. No time to refine elixirs as needed. After all, the rewards from the alchemy conference are extremely generous. Even the top 5 in the disciple group. You can also get the earth-level mid-level cultivation method. Heard the last words. Everyone in the audience exclaimed. The heartbeat can't help but speed up. This is a prefecture-level mid-level mental method. I heard about this level of spiritual cultivation method. It has been able to intuitively improve a person's cultivation qualifications. Frowning slightly, the reactions of the disciples. The third elder saw it. He immediately sent a message to Lu Tianji. Lu Lao, isn't it a bit too much for you to do this? Too much. When you raised this matter yesterday, I have already made it clear that I disagree. As a result, you were directly in front of everyone today. Settle things. Have you ever considered the feelings of our single cells? Sect competition. No room for error. That alchemy conference held every 10 years. Also should not be underestimated. This way, 2 adult monks from the sect were arguing with each other. Other side. Elder Tangzeng looked towards the practice square. Seems to be searching for something. See this. Your heart tightens. You seem to understand a little bit. Why did the system pop up those options just now? Why the simplest and most direct solution is to retreat silently. This is basically a trap left by the original option to complete the mission. Option 2. One of the causes is affected by Dongai's shortage of manpower. Herbs also need someone to pick them. Completion rewards. Bai Keijing immediately clicks on the middle grade. A few days ago, I should have been appreciated by Elder Zeng when I picked the medicine for myself, even though the other party ended up developing a single and uniform elixir because of the protagonist. Leave early. It looks like now, Elder Zeng is looking for the right person. Anyone who can stand up and say a few more words for Dongai at this moment. Then, it is indeed easy for me to become the first choice. On the viewing platform, after Elder Zeng shot in a circle, there is a bit of confusion on the face. When collecting medicine that day, he then saw Chen Changying, the second generation of Wang Kuxian, in the eyes of others. In fact, he has a good ability to identify medicinal materials. This is often a manifestation of excellent alchemy talent. In addition to this, the other party seems to be quite interested in alchemy. Otherwise, I wouldn't be willing to do the chores of picking herbs. So I thought, give the other party a chance to perform at this time. Then naturally, let him join Dan Pavilion. Result. No one is here. Did not continue to delve into the reasons. Xing Yuntian turned to look at another alchemy seedling. Open your mouth and say, Bai Feiqing. Let's talk about it. Who said something more reasonable just now, the third elder or the deputy master of Dan Pavilion? The disciple named Bai Feiqing who was called. My head visibly jerked. Then I felt vaguely. The third elder seemed to have forgotten to take a look at himself, even though Elder Zeng's words gave enough assurance both inside and outside. But how dare he take the lead in such a thing? But now it was brought up by Elder Dongai alone. He can't pretend not to hear. After weighing it over and over again, in the end, I can only bite the bullet and stand up to achieve. Disciples think. The third elder and deputy pavilion master Dongai each have their own reasons. Competition between sects. It is a display of their respective strengths. This will determine the future allocation of some public resources. The importance of Daniel to monks is self-evident. Alchemy Conference. It is also a grand exchange event among alchemists. Bai Feiking's explanation continues. Okay. Bai Feiqing, please go down first. For a while, there was a slightly dull silence in the practice square. However, this didn't last long. Words with a bit of emptiness. Then it rang from not far away. Dear elders, I have something to say. Follow the direction of the sound. Everyone turned their heads in unison. I saw the other party wearing thin white clothes. His face is still a little pale. The person coming is not someone else. It was Zhou Yuan who was refined some time ago who has Shan Yun's quality and appearance. Disciples think. The third elder and the single deputy cabinet master each have their own reasons. Competition between sects. It is a display of their respective strengths. Just came up with the opening remarks. As mentioned by Bai Hongfei before. Almost no difference. You standing far away in a remote corner of the practice square. But anticipated it in advance. The dispute surrounding the sect competition and the alchemy conference. It's probably about to end. After all, that's the protagonist. Just when you took a body test. When I was about to lean on the stone pillar next to me. A clear and somewhat familiar voice. Then it floated into your ears. I think, you are actually much better than him. It feels like being hit with cold water. You stand up straight immediately. Turn your head quickly. Then I saw the saint of the Seven Heaven Sect. Standing there with a raised voice. Obviously when you come over, I didn't see anyone else. What to say? How did this witch get in? The originally calm mood suddenly became chaotic at the same time. You didn't forget to shift your body a little bit. Try to stand in front of the opponent. Although this is actually just a useless effort. But you still do it subconsciously. Blink, blink eyes. Zuo Xiaoyan sees everything the man does. So curious. You seem to be afraid that I will be discovered by your sect elders. Heard this sentence. You actually want to reply. If you can really get the other party caught. You definitely don't care. But as it is now, if you suddenly howl, said the saint of the Seven Heaven Sect is here. Don't let her go, everyone. 99% probability. In the end, you will only be the one who suffers. I didn't pay attention to what the devil's saint said just now. You changed the topic directly. Lower your voice. What are you doing here? He followed suit and lowered his voice. Zuo Xiaoyan responded. Come to see you. I really can't talk about this anymore. You sighed secretly. Just then, 3 options appear in your mind. Choose. Item. One. Take the initiative to explain. I want to take her around. Completion rewards. Random attribute points +1. Rewards for 2D level inferior products. See here. Your heart tightens. Follow your step-by-step understanding of task options. You can already guess the which later. Something is bound to happen again. So, I didn't dare to waste too much time. You said with a helpless tone. That being the case, then do you want to walk around with me? Originally, Zuo Xiaoyan's eyes are looking straight up when she heard this, but couldn't help but froze for a moment, then nodded, smiled sweetly. Okay. The matter will be resolved smoothly. Cui Lihu et al. I just thought that senior brother Chen would run away early because he was too bored. Among all the disciples, only Jiang Hongli. He saw you quietly retreating to a corner of the practice square. Then I saw Elder Shangge. I glanced at your original location several times. Later, concubine Bai Hong was called out for questioning. I have some more guesses in my mind. Only later, when he unconsciously looked in that direction again. You are no longer here for some unknown reason. Lin Ying's alley? Zuo Xiaoyan has not made any other excessive demands for the time being. Just stepping on the soft dead leaves step by step. Just walking side by side. Just this special piece. But with the 2 mission options popping up in your mind, you were broken. Option 1. Continue to maintain the status quo. Completion rewards. The Turing test immediately hit the level. Option 2. Turn around and go to Lin Yefeng. Help Jiang Hongli escape the siege. Completion rewards. Random attribute points +1. What does this mean? Description of options 1 and 2. Of course you can understand. One is to continue walking with the same name Qitian next to me. The other one is saying, Jiang Hongli is in some trouble at this moment. Someone needs to come to the rescue. But when these 2 things are put together, you cursed all over your head. As a villain, how could he choose him at this time? If the inference has been correct before, turn around and go to Lin Yefeng. This is the simplest and most direct way to deal with things at present. You can just leave the witch alone and ignore her. Is it true that nothing big will happen? How to choose this? After some confusion. You can't take too long. In the end, it still refers to taking the initiative to make judgments. Choose 2. At this moment, Lin Yefeng, one of the 12 main peaks of Changying sect. Here are also the vast majority of disciples. The place where several elders practice and live. Last time you came here, it was free bao that night, although the final result ended in failure. Slightly half a body behind. Zuo Xiaoyan looked left and right. It seems that I preferred the scenery along the way at this time. You who observe this, I feel a little confused. 15 minutes ago, when you decide to choose 2, tell the Holy Maiden of the demon cult that she suddenly remembered something important. When you need to come to Ling Yifeng, the other party nodded and did not stop him, but always following behind. I can't get rid of it no matter what. Tell the truth. If I didn't know, I definitely wouldn't be able to beat the opponent. Do you really want to tie someone up with a rope now? Now. You can only hope that the system tasks. Don't fool yourself. Follow the route in memory. Unknowingly, you have reached the foot of Lin Yefeng's mountain. Immediately afterwards, since you are currently in the properties panel, and the attributes are much higher than the rock attributes, a cold voice immediately reaches your ears. Brother Wei, I have no idea of joining any team yet. Follow the direction of the sound. You turn your head. I just happened to see a circle of people gathering in the distance. It seems this should be the dilemma Jiang Hongli is facing right now. Even if you haven't seen the scene yet, according to the words just said, basically, I can judge it to 77-88. I can't continue to be indecisive. I'm confused and there's a seductress following behind me. Step forward with stillness. He patted the shoulder of the disciple standing on the outermost floor. Who are you? With a bit of impatience on his face. The inner disciple turned around, dissatisfied. However, when he saw clearly who was coming, his attitude immediately changed 180 degrees. "Get out of the way quickly," explaining in a low voice. "Brother Chen, I didn't know it was you just now. After all." The inner disciple hurriedly patted the man in front of him. Another inner disciple who was disturbed at first, feeling a little irritable too, but after seeing a certain figure, consciously start relaying. I patted the shoulder of the person further ahead. "That's it. Repeat this." Everyone took the initiative to make way, allowing you to walk to the center without any hindrance. Among them, some people are too angry to speak out. He even wanted to stand up for Jiang Hongli. Considering that this will turn into facing two first and second generations at the same time, I didn't know what to do for a while. But there are also some people. I don't actually feel aggrieved at this moment. On the contrary, because it is already a semi-public fact that senior brother Chen is pursuing junior sister Jiang, so I just want to watch the excitement. Even more intense. Except me. No one dares to team up with you again. I just walked to the open space in the middle. You heard such a threatening word. Then you answered for others in a casual tone. Who said that? These are just 2 sentences. I can already smell the strong smell of gunpowder. Everyone's eyes started to go back and forth, looking between you and Wei Chansong. Even those who are aggrieved for junior sister Jiang. Also subconsciously comparing, which of the 2 is more powerful. Among them, one of them relied on the fact that he already had a Deshang 7 Yuan. The only one with one of the 12 main styles. Elder Yu, a guest of Lin Yifeng. But in order to seek a breakthrough opportunity, Elder Yu, been gone for a year, another's father. He is responsible for handling and resolving disputes within the sect. Extremely popular and powerful. The powerful elder of the law enforcement pavilion. Analysis based on paper strength alone. It seems that the difference is not too big. And Wei Chansong, standing in the middle of the open space. At this time, a trace of haze flashed deep in the eyes. I didn't expect you to show up here at this time. He actually wanted to say a few more harsh words, or just decide the outcome with a show of contempt. But when he recalled his father's warning, let him never provoke the man brought back by the elder, even in front of so many people. I have no choice but to swallow this breath, he said in a different tone. It turns out to be senior brother Chen. I thought you were gone. Oh, nothing. If senior brother Chen and junior sister Jiang form a team, that must be the perfect match for Changying sect. These words are heard by others. At first I thought I said that on purpose. After all, everyone has just analyzed. There shouldn't be much difference between 2 people who are both second generation. But this tone, this look. Gradually, some people began to react. The son of a law enforcement elder. He actually gave in so quickly. Task options completed. Bonus and attribute +1. See, the reward arrives. You also understand. No matter what the other person is thinking in his heart. At least now I won't cause any more trouble to Jiang Hongli. I just had this thought. 3 more options appear in your mind. Option 1. Bring Jiang Hongli. Turn around and leave. Completion rewards. The high-grade magic weapon of shrinking solitary mystery. Option 2. Tell the other party clearly about the cause and effect. I won't team up with junior sister Jiang. I just can't stand her bullying others. Completion rewards. White and red secret technique, middle grade technique. Option 3. Tell Wei Chansong directly. You also take care of my affairs. Who do I want to team up with in the future? Nothing to do with you. Completion rewards. Random attribute points +1. Read all options. You are more and more convinced that Jiang Hongli should be the heroine. At least one of the heroines. Option 1 is actually equivalent to acquiescing to what Wei Chansong just said. He and Jiang Hongli are a perfect match. It seems that if you really do this, you may encounter a lot of trouble later on. Especially the protagonist Zhou Yuan. But option 2, he made it clear that he would not form a team with junior sister Jiang. It's also not the simplest and most direct way to deal with it. Could it be that the last part of the sentence is just because I can't stand him bullying others? This will offend Wei Chansong. This isn't right either. Obviously the description in option 3. That's why I don't take people seriously anymore. I can't figure out the reason for this at the moment. But what needs to be done still needs to be done. Your expression is dull. Just say it directly. You also take care of my affairs. Who do I want to team up with in the future? Nothing to do with you. I have tried hard to put a good smile on my face. As a result, this sentence came out. Wei Changsong's expression immediately froze. The onlookers nearby. I couldn't help but open my mouth. I didn't expect that after Wei Changsong was pinned down steadily, and it'll be stepped on hard. As for you, you have successfully received the system reward. Task options completed. Reward. Increase the mouth attribute by 1. Plus. Things to do to people based on their status as second-generation ancestors. It's not the first time. Even though a disciple with a background like Wei Changsong. It's the first time. But in the impression. Other first-second generations in the Changying sect. Or a general deacon. I don't pay much attention to it myself. So he motioned to Jiang Hongli to follow him. The two people left the place together. Only a group of onlookers were left messy in the wind. And Wei Changsong, who had some pain in his chest. Half an hour. Chen. You finally couldn't help but say that. This seems to be the way down the mountain. Ah. It's like I just came back to my senses. Jiang Hongli raised her head and glanced at the spiritual trees on the left and right. Only then did I realize that I was almost out of Lingye Peak. So he quickly stopped. Paused for a moment, and then said, "Thank you for your help just now." Waved his hand. Showed that you have heard it. You didn't waste too much time. Keep walking towards the road ahead. The two people separated easily like this. Just. Jiang Hongli on the other side did not turn around. She doesn't know why either. Stayed in the same place one more time. Looking at that back. Somewhat dazed. Then he saw. A woman with good looks. Walk up to senior brother Chen naturally. The two of them chatted quite familiarly. Is this the reason why senior brother Chen left early? Just now. He should have been there all along, right? This idea just came to Jiang Hongli's mind. The woman actually turned around. Winked at him. It's like saying hello. That moment, Jiang Hongli didn't know how she should react. Eventually, she turned around. The steps were not very smooth as he left the place. The important thing you said before. Could it be that the hero saves the beauty? He took another look at the route that the beautiful junior sister from Changying sect took when she left. The corners of Zuo Xiaoyan's mouth turned up slightly. He turned back to look at you and said, "My whole heart couldn't help but lift up." You browsed the completion task options. I almost forgot the excuse I made at that time. But you didn't expect that. During the past 7 days, the saint has not come forward to cause trouble. Try not to show the same expression. You are about to speak. Find a way to fool it. Who would have thought that the Holy Maiden of the Devil's cult didn't delve into it deeply? He took the initiative to change the topic and said, "Actually, you're quite interesting. Previously at the practice square, when I talk about you being no worse than the guy on stage, you didn't react at all. No resentment at all. Or ambition. This is different from the guys I've been around in the past. At best, they hide their true thoughts deep in their hearts. But you really don't fight. At this moment, you really want to say something back to the other person. You obviously had an argument, okay? But who makes the other party the protagonist? After being frustrated and unable to see hope. That's why I chose to open up. As for resentment, that's really not necessary. As long as I can be safely reduced to a passerby in the end, that's fine. But in the end you still didn't speak. After all, there are some things you can't tell anyone else. Especially when this person is still called a saint for 7 days. This way. While you are complaining silently. Zuo Xiaoyan suddenly wrinkled her nose slightly. Then I sneezed several times subconsciously. After sneezing. Still a little confused. You see it in your eyes. Just about to have a cute thought. Then I immediately put away this unrealistic idea. For the demeanor shown. Reconvergence. Curled his lips. Zuo Xiaoyan did not find the reason why she suddenly sneezed. According to her realm and strength. It's impossible to have a worldly illness like catching a cold. Still haven't investigated the reason too much. She continued on the topic just now. And you just helped that beautiful junior sister out of trouble? Why don't I have any other thoughts from beginning to end? Are you not very good at it? Just now you were telling yourself not to be tempted by certain superficial things. But as soon as these words came out, you couldn't hold yourself any longer. What does it mean to be incompetent? The person of the opposite sex you have had the most contact with during this period, or the heroine to be determined, or call her a saint for 7 days. Each of these two is more dangerous than the other. Really need to compare. In your mind, Jiang Hongli is even more worthy of being treated with caution. Forget it if you mention anything else. It's a big matter for the officials and people at this moment. You couldn't help but interrupt. Don't talk nonsense. The next words are not finished yet. 3 mission options come to mind. Option 1. Continue to argue with the Saint of the 7 Heaven Sect. Completion rewards. 1 object talisman, Emperor level middle grade talisman. Option 2. Shut up and stay silent. Completion rewards. 1 object talisman, Emperor level middle grade talisman. Option 3. Be vigilant. Release spiritual energy in advance. Completion rewards. Random attribute points +1. Why are the rewards for options 1 and 2 the same? Wrong. Your focus should be on this, which is definitely going to cause some trouble next. Don't have the guts to be distracted anymore. You immediately mobilize your whole Buddhist spiritual energy. Just at this time, a spiritual eagle suddenly sprang out from the roadside. As the figure of the spiritual eagle flashed by, a touch of yellow powder with a very wide range sprinkled on your location. Chi refining 7. Able to absorb the spiritual energy of heaven and earth, entering the body and transforming into spiritual power. Assist 7. Dantian turns to liquid state. Can re-radiate spiritual energy. Fortunately, I got the system prompt in advance. A barrier forms in front of you. Block all those yellow powders. It was also at this time you finally understand. Why did you need to break through the mirror early last night? And I also realized more deeply that this witch, it really cannot be inferred using ordinary logic. 1 second before, everyone seemed to be having a good chat. Next second, when you completely let down your guard, suddenly this happened. You're actually already an auxiliary mirror. With a hint of surprise, Zuo Xiaoyan said in surprise. But when he saw you, his face darkened. He muttered his excuse again in a low voice. Who told me that day to help you protect the law, break through, and help stimulate the mirror? You don't agree. Heard this. You were stunned for a moment. Then you recall the mission options at that time. Option 1. Sit down and start trying to break through the stimulation mirror. Completion rewards. How many times will the 9 stars continuous tide be seen? At that time, the other party gave you a few stimulus checks. The follow-up will be the reward for the next few products. Compared to these 7 days, she is called a saint. You must trust the system's judgment more. If you really do it, just do it and try to break through. It's definitely easier to be fooled. Now you just want to take back the idea that Jiang Hongli is more worthy of being treated with caution. The witch in front of me is an even more troublesome existence. At this time the yellow powder has dispersed. I saw the man didn't speak for a long time. Zuo Xiaoyan tentatively said, You are angry. You were actually a little annoyed about this at first. But think about it later. The rewards for the other 2 options just now are all yellow level mid-grade. According to the inference, the yellow powder shouldn't be anything fatal. Compared to the first time we met. There was also a low-level reward that came out at every turn earlier. This is a good show. And the most important thing is, you don't have any effective countermeasures. Head of Moon. Finally, the 7-day saint was sent away. Speaking of, you were also before the other party 0 left. I just found out that the witch's name is Zuo Xiaoyan. You rubbed your swollen temples. Now I can only take 1 step at a time. Immediately afterwards, several lines of information are displayed in your mind. Protagonist Zhou Yuan. Realm Assist Mirror Early Stage. It may break through to the mid-stage of the Assist Mirror at any time. Karma value 21 points. Another brief description of the protagonist. Almost every once in a while. Will appear once. You're almost used to it. However, when you have ignored it. Immediately following our 3 task options. Option 1. Hurry up. Choose a shooting scope. Disciples with excellent qualifications form teams. Completion rewards. by Ling's body-breaking body-refining technique. Option 2. Form a team with Cui Lihu and others. Completion rewards. Red Star True version immediately top-grade mind technique. Option 3. Tomorrow noon. Join Zhou Yuan, Jiang Hongli's team. Completion rewards. Random attribute points +1. After looking at all the options, you then realize you may have just missed some important information. So he turned around again. Start speed reading a brief description of the protagonist. This evening, Wei Chang's song was dissatisfied. Find someone to deliberately embarrass Jiang Hongli. The protagonist Zhou Yuan comes to the rescue. And by chance, completed team formation with Jiang Hongli. Specific details, although the system is not described, but you can basically guess. The reason why two people can officially form a team. It should have been indirectly promoted by Wei Chang's song. And there are also your own influencing factors here. If you hadn't helped Jiang Hongli out of the siege, and in front of many disciples, he gave Wei Chang's song a hard kick, I guess there won't be anything more to come. But it doesn't seem to be entirely possible. Since they are both male protagonists and female protagonists, even if nothing happened this time, they will also complete the team formation for some other reasons. Thinking. You suddenly feel a little confused. I don't understand the logical sequence here. Lost his breath slowly. Empty your mind completely for a while. Then he shook his head again. You start the analysis from the beginning again. First, the team-up between the male and female protagonists. It is most in line with the general plot development. This should be determined first. You helped out at that time. Don't leave any favors for Wei Chang's song. These are the simplest solutions given by the system. This also led Wei Chang's song to adopt more radical measures. In the end, the male and female protagonists teamed up in this way. This is the final result. As for the easiest route right now, it turned into joining Zhou Yuan and Jiang Hongli's team. In fact, it can be explained. That's between the team and the team. You never know when a conflict of interest will arise. As the saying goes, the most dangerous place is the safest place. As long as you enter the team, follow the system prompts to continue. Advantage is mine. At this moment, Qingyang sect Wuxia Feng Jingdao Pavilion. This is what is given to disciples on weekdays. Just a place to assign tasks. Zhou Yuan Jiang Hongli. After writing down the names of two people one after another, Song Qi's waited for a moment, seeing that the other party was silent. Then he raised his head and asked actively, "There's more, as required. Team members must be at least 3. Touched nose. Zhou Yuan naturally knows this too. He considered his words. Then I tried to say, there are only 2 of us now. See if you can. Regulations are regulations. At least 3 people. No more than 5 people in a team. It's to train the disciples' collaboration ability, by the way. Normally, this situation is definitely not allowed. Su. But this incident was widely spread. Just heard a little bit about it. The initial impression was a bit better because of this. So, turn one eye and close one eye and say, I can just write it like this. But it's not certain whether it will pass by then. Seeing that the deacon's tone relaxed a little, Zhou Yuan nodded repeatedly and replied forcefully. It doesn't matter. Trouble. Put pen to paper again. Next to 2 people's names. Marked. Deacon Song was about to call the next person to come forward. However, just at this moment, a voice suddenly sounded. Junior brother Zhou. Junior sister Jiang. Since your team is short of people, then count me in. This familiar voice. Everyone has already guessed who the visitor is. Turn their heads one after another. Look in the direction of the sound. You just stepped on it yesterday. Wei Chang's Song, the son of a law enforcement elder, had a meal, although he did not directly state any thoughts at the time. But everyone knows, as the most arrogant and domineering second generation in the sect, you will definitely not watch junior sister Jiang form a team with others. Of course, there are also some people who are angry and dissatisfied with this behavior. But no matter what thoughts you have, they all subconsciously focused on you and Jiang Hongli. He raised his eyebrows slightly. For that kind of looking at me like I'm watching a play. You didn't say much, but once I look at it, so that the last second, Everyone is still waiting for the follow-up development. Now you have to leave quickly. Either keep busy with what you are doing. In an instant, no one dares to join in the fun anymore. Subtle changes in the atmosphere inside Zengage. Jiang Hongli saw it in her eyes. Actually, whether or not it becomes the focus of others' eyes, and what others think, she won't even take it to heart. Just for you. A little more different understanding. Earlier yesterday, she had already tried to register by herself. Want to form a team alone? Result: the answer I got was no. Later, Zhou Yuan came to help, when making an invitation to join a team, because I haven't found any other better options. I didn't care about it either, so I agreed. Now, one more person needs to be added to the team. As long as it's not senior brother Chen from the past, and people like Wei Chansong. In short, when Zhou Yuan seemed to be still hesitating, Jiang Hongli had already spoken. My words are fine. This just meets the number of people required. Seeing that junior sister Jiang has taken the first step to express her attitude, although Zhou Yuan still hesitated, he still agreed. Such a troublesome thing. We have one more member in our team. Cause and effect +1. Raise your head. It waved back and forth on the faces of the three of them. Songji always feels like something is weird. Register before then. Basically, 3 or 5 friends form a team. But these few in front of me. Shook his head slightly. These trivial matters are none of his business. After asking for the name of the person who came next, after registering the team information, just mentioned one sentence. Team members need a certain team understanding. If you are not very familiar with each other, you can sit down and have a meal later. Get to know each other first. Then he continued to be busy with the next work. Task options completed. Reward. Increase the mouth attribute by 1. End registration. Everyone walked out of Jingdao Pavilion one by one. Zhou Yuan thought for a moment. I also feel that I care about what I just looked at directly. Seeing that the other 2 people remained silent, he was the first to suggest, how about we have a meal together? Explain this situation. For example, what are each good at? This will really help you practice outside later. In this regard, a trace of thought flashed in Jiang Hongli's eyes, and then said, a new restaurant opened in Luqing. Drunken Foil. We can go there. Drunken Flower Sword. This is not the time when Jiang Hongli followed her. The place where you finally turned around and left? Why did she mention it? Wait. This doesn't seem to be the focus of the problem now. The crux of the matter is, the owner behind the most beautiful sword is the saint of the 7 Heaven Sect. I kept warning myself, be wary of that witch and keep your distance from her. Result. Didn't you take the initiative to deliver it to your door now? Think of this. You are going to speak. Politely refuse. However, at the same time, 3 options come to your mind. Option 1. Express objection. Give other suggestions. Completion rewards. The special magic weapon that should not be selected. Choose. Item. It seems like he wants to hide. I'm afraid I still can't escape. Since there is no way to shirk it, then face it directly. You who no longer have any worries. So said, Drunken Flower Sword. Am familiar with this place. The conditions are really good in all aspects. Task options completed. Reward. Muscle skin +1. As soon as it comes, then it will be safe. When you lead the way. Leading people to the Drunken Flower Sword. I don't know if the enchantress once told me something. Those escorts were very enthusiastic. In the private room, there was no such thing as the sudden intellectual and magical sound last time. It was clear from the beginning. Spring. Flowing sound. When someone walks in with a dish, your body has collapsed subconsciously. How could you imagine? The majestic saint of the 7 Heavenly Sect, the boss behind Drunken Flower Sword. She actually dressed up as a maid. Come in specifically to serve around. There's even something you don't know about it. That means Zuo Xiaoyan has already met Jiang Hongli. Although only very briefly, the 2 people looked at each other. But at this moment, Jiang Hongli immediately recognized the maid. The one who was accompanied by senior brother Chen that day. However, She didn't speak, just sit quietly. Atmosphere. As a result, I fell into some kind of inexplicable dullness. As the only outsider, the protagonist Zhou Yuan. The last time he came in was by accident. Never really tried the food here. I saw that the two people next to me didn't even think about using their chopsticks. I just think everyone is gathering. So I took the initiative to liven up the atmosphere and said, I think you can eat the food while serving it. Senior brother Chen, didn't you just say that? Dishes here. Is the drink a must? A slight smile on his face. Zuo Xiaoyan took the initiative to walk to your side. Put down the dishes in your hands. A serious introduction. Yes, for example, this Linghu fish with vinegar sauce. Taken from Lingyao Lake in the Forbidden Land. Ingredients are absolutely fresh. First cook over high heat. After being coated in sweet and sour, then simmer over slow fire to reduce the juice, tender and delicate taste. The last time Mr. Chen came. This is my favorite dish. Should I say it or not? This explanation is indeed quite professional. It immediately aroused Zhou Yuan's appetite. Just for you. Mia and Mei listened carefully to what the enchantress said. Always pay attention to the other person's next step. Will he suddenly do something surprising? Simply wait until Zuo Xiaoyan puts down all the dishes. Ready to leave. There are no other actions. But just then, Jiang Hongli said, the dishes you brought over. Seems like more than we ordered. Such as this plate of tofu. We didn't want. As a waitress who is responsible for serving food, there shouldn't be such an oversight. More dishes. You glance briefly. It seems that there are indeed 2 extra dishes than what they ordered just now. Normally. Bring this up proactively. No problem. But at this moment, the witch stays here for 1 more minute. There will be 1 more minute of uncertainty. So, are you ready to speak? Help with cover. But here, you haven't had time to speak yet. A hint of apology appeared on Zuo Xiaoyan's face. Replied forcefully. It's true that I was negligent. Hear this in my ears. You couldn't help but be stunned for a moment. You didn't react a bit. Why is this witch suddenly so sexy? But then, when the next words come, you will know that you are overthinking. I just served as a waiter. Forgot to tell all the guests. Because Mr. Chen and our boss are old acquaintances. The owner specially asked to give away a few new signature dishes, paired with Zuo Xiaoyan's very sincere tone when she spoke. This moment, even if you already know the other person's true identity. I was almost deceived by the superb acting skills. However, in order to end this episode completely, you can only follow the words of the witch. Open your mouth and say, I do have some familiarity with this owner of the most foil sword, but I didn't expect. This time I came here and got such treatment. In this regard, Jiang Hongli did not continue to speak. Zuo Xiaoyan, on the other hand, owed her body, then withdrew. Call. Secretly lost a breath. Fortunately, things finally passed without any danger. However, after a while, when the witch appears again in the private room, 4 or 5 new dishes were served, and put it in front of someone specially. Immediately afterwards, back and forth, 4 or 5 more dishes. Calculating it this way, just the kiln in front of you. It's already fallen 3 floors. Looking back at Jiang Hongli, but only 1 or 2 dishes. This kind of differential treatment. I'm afraid even a blind person can see the problem. Therefore, you can't sit still. Stop quickly. Are you placing the plates separately and shaking your head? Zuo Xiaoyan lowered his head slightly and said softly, this is also what the boss requires. We maids can only obey the arrangements. The so-called boss. Isn't it just the witch herself? That is to say, she clearly did this on purpose. Seeing that the atmosphere may become tense again, you take the initiative to put the dishes in front of you. Stack clouds to other locations on the table. While explaining, I specifically spoke to senior brother Chen. Thank you. Then raised his head. Look at Zuo Xiaoyan. The eyes of the 2 people just happened to meet. The expression on his face paused briefly, but Zuo Xiaoyan quickly returned to normal. She left a sentence in a natural tone. The dishes are already served. Please use it slowly. Then he left the private room. A series of episodes. It really affects the atmosphere of the next meal. However, after everyone has tasted the dishes on the table, the topic gradually opened up again. This is the most ridiculous food. It is indeed a rare delicacy. No wonder business is so booming. Just added a few chopsticks. Zhou Yuan has already deeply realized the essence of this. Of course, he did not forget the purpose of this meal. Soon we will return to the topic. From now on, the three of us should go out to practice together. We should introduce each of them. Let me talk about myself first. I have 10 units that can be practiced. For the protagonist Zhou Yuan, you can say that you can't be more mature if you are familiar with it. The system often puts the opponent's practice information directly in front of you. For example, the amount of spiritual energy he needs for daily practice is several times that of ordinary monks. Therefore, it will be more difficult to break through the realm. But once a certain level is reached, it is easy to achieve invincibility in the same mirror. You can even achieve leapfrog challenges. Another example. She carries a bottle of wood spirit liquid. Just a few drops can accelerate the maturation of medicinal materials. Add years to years. This is probably also the source of the basic medicinal materials for her daily alchemy. What she said now completely concealed the above information. However, this is understandable. Waiting for Zhou Yuan to finish his brief introduction, Jiang Hongli was the second to speak. In addition to my usual practice, factors and formations are slightly dabbled in. At present, we can lay out mysterious low-grade formations. In the face of dang dang dang. Jiang Hongli hasn't finished speaking yet. There was a knock on the door outside the private room. Everyone stopped talking in unison. With your permission to enter. The visitor is still Zuo Xiaoyan disguised as a maid. She stuck her head in, as if afraid of disturbing the guest's interest. But I have to explain. Mr. Chen, Mr. Cui from Yejian next door are looking for you. Regardless of whether this information is true or false. Do you think it's better to go out now? It would be better to explain it clearly to the witch. So I responded. Walk out of the room. So which private room are Cui Lihu and the others in? Looking at the enchantress standing still. Not so angry either. They are not here. Haven't you already seen it? Clearly deceived. Zuo Xiaoyan still behaved as she should. Immediately afterwards, she suddenly changed the topic. Asked rhetorically, how many days will it take you? He should probably go out to practice. Nodded. This matter itself cannot be hidden from the other party. That Zhou Yuan and the beautiful junior sister. He's on the same team as you. Still just nodded. No other communication. Who brought it up first and spent the most money on eating? Junior sister Jiang. You answered very briefly. From the initial arrest until today, the other party always makes random moves one after another, especially in less than one meal. There have been several twists and turns. Now I've been cheated again. After a few conversations, suddenly I feel that my tolerance has reached its limit. Even though he knew that the other party was a saint of the Seven Heaven Sect, the current disparity in strength between the two sides is too great. There is nothing I can do. But deep down, you've come to think of it as a pink skull. Don't want too many disturbances. Just want a perfunctory. And after a few questions, Zuo Xiaoyan seemed to have fallen into silence. This time, it's you who opens the mouth instead. Asked in a calm tone. Is there anything else? The smile on his face seems a little forced. Zuo Xiaoyan said. Yes. Mr. Cui and several others just went upstairs. Curiosity never allows anyone to enter. Who is the guest in Tianzi number 1 private room? My servants said you were inside. They are shouting to see you. Now I'm in the elegant room at Dizzy number 6. You can pass. It seems that you may not believe it. He added another sentence at the end. It's true this time. I didn't lie to you. Don't know why. After listening to the last words of the witch, when taking the initiative to turn around and leave, I actually feel a little soft-hearted again. Sighed lightly. Your mind is very confused now. Subconsciously, I was ready to turn around and go back to the private room. But when I was about to open the door, only then did I realize that I should go see it first. They are the right ones to urge Lihu. So, he couldn't help but shook his head, still walking towards the elegant room at number 6. And then, when you walk into a room unsuspectingly, discover the guests in the house. I don't know anyone at all. Patted his forehead. You feel a little hateful to yourself. It was clearly agreed. Be careful and careful. Result. People act a little softer. Be quieter. I have no persistence. Pink skull. Pink skull. Pink skull. You say it silently? Reaffirm my recent thoughts. I don't plan to continue to fight with each other. From now on, I still have to have a cold attitude. Make the witch lose interest in you quickly. After repeatedly impressing this idea, you walk along the corridor and prepare to turn back. However, just at this moment, the private room at number 5 suddenly opened. From the corner of your eye, you happen to catch a glimpse of the guests inside. It was Cui Lihu and others. Didn't the witch lie to herself? Why would you say something wrong on purpose? After today's events, the next few days, the saint of the 7 Heaven Sect seems to have disappeared. Not interfering with someone's life. You also put this matter behind you for now. Focus all your energy on your current practice outside. One of the 12 main styles of Changying sect. A piece of flat land on the mountainside of Wushu Peak. Zhang Tianyuan of Jingdao Pavilion looks directly at, comparing the 3 people assigned to him in front of him. Relevant description on the register. As the 7th monk of Yuanying, I even felt a little pressure. Inside. A person who can refine Danyan. One is a descendant of Elder Yu. There is also a mutated ice spirit root. Part-time physician. Jin Mage. He even had the illusion that he was not qualified to follow the record assessment. But I think so. What to say? But Manager Zhang still wrote lightly. The qualifications of this batch of inner disciples are pretty good, right? 2 base periods. 9 levels and 1 chi training period. Have you guys discussed it? Who will be this captain?